Hey people, Injured here, Fr33man Garvus Ice Gate blue team. We've got Fr33man1800 as a Lord Commissar, fights in melee combat, very strong offense and support, and begins with this refractor field. This is the Mordian Iron Guard elite scheme that he's rocking, alongside max power as a force commander. Is not moving, going to be a late start here. Very good offense, fights in melee combat, can also tank, disrupt and support with buffs. Now his tactical marines are on the way, should be moving soon. And rounding off this blue team, the great Cornholio as a Lord General, fights range combat, begins with a retinue of stormtroopers to help him out. Really good defense and support capabilities. Red team, a couple of Eldar players. First up is John Constantine as a Farseer, a support commander that fights in melee combat, lots of great buffs with some debuffs and control abilities too. This is the All-Throw DLC from Relic, looking pretty cool. Alongside, the Sickness is a Warlock, a melee commander that can leap into combat, some good mobility and disruption, and some awesome support capabilities these days too. Dangerous little Eldar fella. And rounding off the red team, a Ravener Alpha played by Libra. Fights in range combat by default, has some awesome maneuverability with his tunnels and a little bit of support too, but gotta be very wary of this guy's offense. Very capable in melee and range combat with the right war gear. Kicking off on the east side, Howling Banshees are losing tons of models, but they are doing damage. They're now going after this turret, but they're not going to be able to take it down and are forced to retreat. Those Dire Defenders getting way too close, kicking over here. And Howling Bat, a little bit of a sloppy engagement here, I think, for the Sickness. They don't want to get those Howling Banshees close to a battle-crying force commander. Even with his default weapon, can do so much against Howling Banshees. Looks like he just ran them in there and they got disrupted and forced off. So despite the late start for max power, he's going to be able to force off the Warlock, I think, take that wreck point and move on to the mid. Meanwhile, west side, tons of dead stuff, termagants laying all over the place, and some guards on the Ravener Alpha forcing melee combat on these guards to try and stop them firing their ranged weapons. They can of course repair while they're shooting as long as they're facing it. These guys do have their sergeant. Wow, Ravener Alpha knocked all over the place by a... was that a Lord General special attack there? Oh, Commissar Lord, of course. So strange to see Fr33man playing a Lord Commissar and not a Lord General. Don't think I've ever seen him play a Lord Commissar. Either the Lord General or he's playing another faction entirely. 483 to 483. VPs are evened up early on. Max Power's pushed ahead and taken the contested wreck. Now he's going to smack on the node, I think. I guess so. Doesn't want to push forward to the VP because he knows the Eldar are going to be coming out any moment, and there they are. Shuriken Cannon, guarded weapon team on the east side for John Constantine. Fr33man with some catachans and max power with some assault marines on the field. Force commander spots the Eldar and backs away. Where's the rest of his army though? Still healing up. Time to get them out of base, I think. We still have the multi-laser turret on the east side. Look at that really wide firing arc it has. Doesn't have great range. Well, decent range, about as much as a bolter or something like that, I think. And another one here with support from two guardsmen and a sentinel, which does not have stomp, but look at the damage from those two turrets and those double guardsmen and the sentinel. Lots of piercing output, which is bad news for Eldar because a lot of light infantry, of course. And down goes the Farseer. Not paying attention there, John Constantine. West side, Eldar coming to help out. Down goes a sentinel. Yeah, Fr33man got doubled. Did not realise in time and so did not back off. That's what map awareness is all about. Something I'm pretty horrible at myself. I rarely even know what the heck my allies are doing if they're on the other side of the map, or how they're doing. Force commander with the Chainsaw and Storm Shield from max power. With double Banshees on the field, I thought for sure he was going to wait and save the resources to get the hammer in tier 2. He could of course still get it, but now he's paid for that storm shield. There's that defend ability, slows down units but gives them suppression immunity, which is incredibly valuable of course, and some range damage resistance, and a pretty hefty amount of it. I believe it's 50%. There it is on the tooltip. Howling Banshees now getting onto those assault marines and take them down in a flash. Wow. Warlock over here too with the Merciless Switchblade, a fantastic melee weapon. One of the best ones you can get in tier 1 easily. 130 damage per hit, 65 DPS, and a decent amount of piercing DPS with that knockdown and energy drain. Knockdown on a range attack, energy drain on the melee attack. All sorts of stuff going on with that weapon. Good damage and some passive benefits. Warlock is still being a massive pain in the ass. Has the champion's robe. Don't see this quite as much since it does not synergize with the Heart of Darkness anymore. Heart of Darkness now granting you Enhance, which is a support buff. Meanwhile, on the east side, it's Cornholio getting a bit too close to the Eldar stuff, but does force them off. And Bastion Power, it looks like. Shuriken Cannon's going to set up. Where is it going to set up, though? Can the Catachyns disrupt it somehow? Maybe they've already used their abilities. Shuriken doesn't want to stand there, though. Really doesn't want to stand there. Oh, there we go. All Reliable disrupts it, and the Sentinel can back away. Max Power. Pulling in some more Tactical Marines with a drop pod. That would have also reinforced any of his Space Marines that were around, but I guess none of them were. Lost his Scouts and lost his Assault Marines. That's a tough Tier 1 for Max Power, but now has double Tacticals. Gives you some good versatility going into Tier 2. Lord General runs into some Eldar, doesn't want to fight them. Flak Jacket is up. Grants incoming. Decreasing damage taken, so not just range damage, very, very useful. And immunity to knockdown, which is awesome. Especially if you're fighting against Assault Marines and stuff. They jump in, your Guardsmen just stare at them. Tier 2 for Max Power. Straight into a Plasma Cannon, I would think, since he has a fair amount of requisition and will have enough by the time he gets to Tier 2. Cornholio coming mid to defend, and here are those double Tactical Marines. They can now both force melee combat, and look at those Banshees jumping through the walls there. It's because of their jump over objects trait. Some of the walls are different from other walls for reasons I can't really ascertain. It's not made clear in the world build-up why they can jump through some walls and not others. It's the same deal for Cormagaunts or the Autarch or anything else that can jump over stuff. Some walls count as an object you can jump over and some of them don't. The ones on Garvus Ice Gate do. So Banshees with aspect of fleetness even, have a good advantage there. It's Sickness who has the aspect of fleetness. Also Cormagaunts can jump through them, of course, if under Synapse. Look at this though on the west side. Is that double Flamer Guardsman? No, single Flamer Guardsman burning the crap out of stuff. Take down the Capillary Tower and all the gens maybe? Looks like they're... Oh, the Flamer one's got forced off, so it's going to be a slow going trying to take down this last generator. You might be able to do it though. 483299. How much does he want to take this generator down? Dropping 2 models from the Termagants. Yeah, double Termagants with Toxin sats really do pump out a decent amount of piercing damage early on. Can't underestimate that for sure. Oh, Force Commander does get the hammer as well. And the Teleporter pack is going to teleport on that Shuriken and start knocking stuff all over the gaff. The Thunderhammer is getting adjusted for the next update. No longer is the special attack going to track indefinitely, which is incredibly annoying. It's going to have a range of 12 on that tracking special, which is still a decent amount. That's 12 meters is the unit of measurement in Dawn of War 2 games, I think. Not sure how accurate that is in terms of game scale, but that's what they go for. So 12 is a sizable amount. Should only make it miss in those edge cases where something is absolutely miles away, which is fine. There's a creeping barrage which stops the cat, which is what Cornholio was going for there, I think. Plasma Cannon sets up and misfires because this stuff got behind the shot blocking walls. Banshee is doing a good job there holding up a bunch of stuff, but they really need to be doing that with a little bit more support. Look at these Howling Banshees, aspect of fleetness and their Exarch. They are chopping up those Tactical Marines. That was pretty nasty. 476 to 279. Catachyns were there though. Oh, Autarch drop from who? It is John Constantine. Been seeing her a little bit more recently. Autarch smacking away on these Tactical Marines. Now she has a fair amount of power melee damage. And look at that, Inspire on kill, some good special attacks going off, but now meets a Thunderhammer and wants to get the heck out of there. 464 to 279. Good special attack from the Warlock's Merciless Switchblade. Has a power melee special, which I've heard goes off twice, which would be unique for special attacks, I think, because he kind of swirls it around his head for a good amount of time. It's got a long animation, but if it goes off twice, that would be why. Uh-oh, Spotter's getting shot to pieces and they go down. Venom Brood with that ranged synapse, improving the health and damage of other ranged non-synapse Tyranids such as these Termagants. Also affects Raveners. And I think that's it, pretty much. The Chimera backing away from Freeman. We might see the mobile base thing go off. We can set up a beacon back here, which would be very, very useful for the blue team. That was Spiritual Rights heal from the Farseer, healing up those Banshees. They are chasing down those Catachans who are reinforcing off the Chimera, but now they need to retreat out of there. Red team cannot take this VP right now, though. Stone Guard veterans on the field. Very obvious choice in tier 2 against double Eldar for those Hellfire rounds. Doing good damage to all of the light infantry with that damage over time, and some good damage to the heroes as well, though you'd be better off switching to Kraken for the heroes. The Hellfire still do a decent job, more than decent really. Zoanthrope on the field now for Libra. Has a very strong ranged Tyranid army. No sign of the Corrosive Devourer for the Ravener Alpha. Has the Synapse Damage Aura and Hardened Carapace, which is the Burrow Underground thing. That's being buffed in the next update, I think. He's no longer gonna lose speed when it's underground. Jumping in is the Autarch from miles out. Good for disruption. You can also use it defensively to make use of that heal and the, I think it's a speed and damage buff you get if you're allied and around the Autarch when she lands. This is a risky endeavour for Red Team, going after this Chimera with not a whole lot. These Banshees with aspect of fleetness are not ideal for taking on the vehicle armour of the Chimera. Melter Guns up on the Lord General for some, I guess for the buff. Not especially for the Melter Guns themselves. You get Fight Hard up, which will buff all of his Stormtroopers and his Guardsmen and his Catachans. Does it buff allies as well? I think it might. In which case that'll be a great buff for the Tactical Marines and the Stern Guard too. Good grenade on the Stern Guard veterans. They're going after the Chimera here. Once you take this Chimera down, the beacon will disappear. Fire Dragons on the field, which drew some wrath from max power there. Fire Dragons widely regarded as overpowered. Some people describe them as broken, which Dawn of War 2 players seem to describe a hell of a lot of things in Elite Mod as broken, which I find kind of annoying. Orcs are broken, Tyranids are broken, Imperial Guard economy is broken, Fire Dragons are broken, Banshees are broken. They seem to play it for a lot of broken things dealing in the game, but the Banshees are going to be forced off. But they got the Chimera down with power melee weapons. The Exarch wasn't even involved there, I don't think. She just got back up. But yeah, Fire Dragons are clearly overpowered and are being adjusted in the next patch. We see one of them in this game. 411 to 265 is a 2-to-1 cap for the red team, and the Wraith Lord with a Bright Lance out for the sickness. Mid is completely uncapped. We have a sneaky webway gate over here. Can make great use of those, getting over to that east side quickly. And there are a few kind of inconspicuous spots you can put them in the mid, kind of around here. You could put a gate quite nicely. Doesn't seem to be, because spotters do not detect anymore. So, oh, Catachans do. So these Catachans, I think, are the only detectors on the blue team's army. So the webways might be incredibly useful here. Haven't seen much in the way of tunnels. I guess Freeman's been taking them down. Our Toronto formation went off here. Completely missed that. 376 to 265. A double cap for red. Can the blue team mount an offense? Might be a triple, and I think it is going to be. Autarch taking blue team's natural, has her Executioner, which is 65 DPS power melee. Not bad at all. Oh, mine's being detected here by the Venom Brood. Zoanthrope gonna try and get some shots. Oh, on those Stormtroopers. Got a good shot off. All evenly spread, of course, so didn't drop a model. There's a Whirlwind, though, from max power. Can shoot over that wall right into the middle there. Passively as well. One of the good things about the Whirlwind is that you don't really need to micromanage them shots. Just park it somewhere safe within range and let it do its thing. Force Commander level 3 takes down the Autarch, has his Artifice up. Since the Whirlwind is so inaccurate, you don't really get a benefit from firing, from ground firing, I don't think, unless you want to shoot a specific blob rather than the other blob. But as long as there's some kind of blob, it's going to do this. Look at that disruption. Warp throw, was that? Yes, it was. From the Warlock. He's level 5, the sickness. Warlock doing well. Plasma Cannon getting some friendly fire. Thunderhammer doing work though. Look at this thing go to town. 62 power melee DPS. Wraith Lord takes down the Whirlwind. I guess it already got its Hunter Killer missile off on the Wraith Lord. Wraith Lord now needs to force melee combat. There we go. Melter Gun's getting shots. It's the end of the Wraith Lord. I don't think it's going to get away. It's going to be chased out. It's going to go down. So yeah. Lost the Whirlwind but took down a Wraith Lord. I think it's a pretty good trade for the blue team. Tier 3 now for max power. In fact, tier 3 for all of the players apart from the sickness, and that is a nasty rocket run. Ouch. On a big Tyranid range blob. And took out all of the termagants. Look at them just laying there. I assume that was from Freeman over there. Yeah, I think it was. Tide is turning for the blue team now. Really is turning. The last couple of engagements on both sides of the map. Very good for the blue team. Lord General being chased off by Banshees. Not quite the chasing powerhouse that they once were, but they can still use their fleet and use the Warlock speed buff to try and finish stuff off. They will be losing damage with fleet active, of course, but fleet is so amazing when you have that Exarch giving you that 50% less range damage. Helps them so much getting into combat. Otherwise, they'd just be shredded trying to run in, especially in the 3v3. Fire Dragon's being shot down eventually. 272 to 248. It's a 2-to-1 cap for the blue team, but it's very close on VPs. There's a warp throw. Doesn't really have something to follow it up with. Usually it's followed up with grenades or just Banshees running in or something like that. There's that really elaborate special again. Oh, heavy turret dropped. We'll see how long it lasts though, because the Bright Lance is going to be able to get shots off, right? These turrets have vehicle armor, so you don't really want to use flame weapons against them, which is what you'd usually use against a structure or a turret. But that Bright Lance, as you can see, doing tons of damage. Leman Russ is up, and that's a good plasma cannon shot. This turret might survive. Being repaired. Bright Lance gets disrupted, and again, and it gets wiped out. In fact, the turret lives. Nicely done, blue team. 272 to 221. Blue team looking pretty much in control now. Carnifex, though, on the field for Libra. Tyranids can recover very quickly and very strongly if they are already in tier 3. Start again as Carnifex is up, and since he's lost most of his army, he's got barely any upkeep. Smack. It's a Thornback Carnifex, so has that health increase up to 1650. That is a Power Fist. Oh, it's the Fist of Brockus, I should say, sorry, for the Lord Commissar. Also has the Emperor's Wrath, which I'm sure was very painful for some Tyranids at some point. Zoanthrope gets away. What does he have in turn? His Bionic Eye. Inspire Determination basically makes Inspire Courage a lot better. Doesn't want to fight a Carnifex though, since he has melee resistance and is easily going to be able to take down that Lord Commissar. Puts his shield up and backs away. Here come a bunch of Tactical Marines and Stone Guard veterans though. Need to switch to their Vengeance rounds if they want to damage the Carnifex in any meaningful way. Doesn't look like they're doing it right now. Spotters on the field for Freeman still. And blue team in control here with a double cap. Land Raider Redeemer on the way for max power. After a scout loss and an assault marine loss and a whirlwind loss, he's in tier 3 and getting a Land Raider up. He's recovered. They have defended this power very well, the blue team. They've held on to that. See a council up though for John Constantine. Might have called them in with his global ability that the Farseer has. Or could have just purchased them from the HQ and try and save some red. None of them close to a Eldritch though, which they're going to want once they see the Land Raider for sure. They also have a Haywire though from the Warp Spiders. Libra with some late game Hormagaunts. Did he use without number or something? I think they did. There's Termagants and Hormagaunts both with their upgrades, which leads me to think that without number was used. A global ability of the Tyranids spawns some upgraded Hormagaunts and Termagants. Pretty useful to get you going again with some capping units. Cornholio pushing the east side and bashing it. Blue team in control. They should be able to take this game from here. They've got a numerical advantage and a Land Raider on the field to greatly help them. And what is going on here? Why are you in base, Mr. John Constantine? What are you up to? City Council need to run away. Has he forgotten about them? I think his player's forgotten about those City Council. There we go, now they run. Uh-oh, Warp Spiders getting too close to the Land Raider and are exploded in the face. 255 to 149. The sickness hits tier 3. But I don't really see a way out of this hole for the red team. Yeah, they have a 2-1 right now. But with the Land Raider up, the blue team have a massive advantage in terms of staying power and sustainability. But here we go. They're going to push for the Land Raider right now. Do you have Corrosive Devourer? You do not. Land Raider, the Raven Alpha does not have a way to directly damage the Land Raider himself. Leman Russ on the way now for Freeman. Some scouts for max power to help keep that Leman Russ, that Land Raider I should say, repaired. Lord Commissar on capping duty, and blue team can surely build from here and take this game. Sneaky Eldar though, being sneaky, they've completely conceded that east side, and look at this. Catechins on capping duty, 233 to 141. Howling Banshee eat a shotgun blast, but the Exarch did not care much about it and keeps going. Now they're going to run into huge amounts of range damage. Just insane amounts of range damage right here if this stuff turns to engage. There we go. Time field though, really good way to set up a Banshee rush. Drop a time field. Land Raider being very, very defensive here and staying the hell back. Knows that he's up against double Eldar with potential double Eldritch Storms coming in. They're only 100 odd red away, both of them, from dropping it. 233 to 98. This Carnifex is still around. Another Carnifex on the way for Libra. Could get a Venom Cannon maybe. Though I think a Barb Strangler would be hugely useful as well. There's a Carnifex charge. Wow, absolute demolishing things. And a Carnifex charge is set to get a really interesting rework in 2.5. We'll see if it actually goes through. All changes are subject to further changes at this point. It's now going to be able to ram into vehicles and stun them, rather than what he does now, which is target a piece of terrain and just charge to it. 2-1 cap for the blue team. The Carnifex is going to go down. Soaked up so much damage though. Here's another Carnifex. What does he go for though with it? Nothing yet. I don't think... No, it doesn't have the power to get a Carnifex upgrade, which are all 50 power, I think, are they? Maybe the Barb Strangler isn't. Bunker up here, and a heavy turret. And a plasma cannon to the face of these Dire Avengers. Blue team now firmly in control of this game. And they're going to win it. Yeah, they've forgotten about the west side, but they don't really care at this point. Just 63 VPs to take out the red team. And we might even see them go after the natural. I think they should. Not always easy to judge how far ahead you are though when you're playing, especially in a 3v3, trying to keep track of what each of your enemies has. Double D cannons up here for the sickness. Would have been decent if he didn't leave that standing there to get rushed by the Force Commander, who now retreats back to that Land Raider. 233, 62. There's the 2-1. I think they're going to hold on to victory here. Some more Guardsmen on the way for Freeman. I also have some Castlekin. No weapon upgrades. Wow. A nice singularity. Look at the amount of dead Guardsmen. That was crazy. It was like 20 Guardsmen, I think, taken down there. Oh, rocket run. And an Eldritch. Zul kicking off here. Holy crap. Oh, but look, none shall fall from the Lord Commissar, Fist of Brockus. So none of those models were taken out once he activated. Anyway, Carnifex rotating too slowly. Does he actually get an attack off there? Is he shut down by something? Oh, I think the Eldritch hit the Carnifex, so it couldn't get an attack off there. 233-34. Desperation from the red team, trying to make a push on this, which is not easy. That's another Eldritch. Did not target the Land Raider though. Just targeted a massive blob of Guardsmen, which is all well and good, but I don't think they really care about that at this stage. The blue team. Down goes that Carnifex. With double Leman Russes for Great Cornholio. Did Freeman cancel his Lehman Russ, or did he lose it somewhere? What is this D cannon trying to do? Oh, take down the bunker. Warlock is capping. How are they letting them cap? They have so much stuff, they're just sitting in the mid with it. How are you able to cap? Well, they got it. 229 to 24. I did not think they were going to lose the 2-1 at that point, but they lost it. Warlock in retreat, having got that cap. D cannon members strangely pushed forward there and need to run away, because once all of those infantry models die, this thing just explodes. Doesn't actually have any hit points, technically speaking, the platform itself. We have some heavy weapons squad on capping duty. Avatar of Cain on the way for John Constantine. I don't think it's going to be enough. They wasted their nukes. That was their chance to get back into this game. If they double nuke, bit more patient, a double nuke on the Land Raider, follow it up with some damage, they would have taken it out and they would have had a chance of coming back in. But that wasn't the case. Zone throw level 4 here. Up to 4, 5, 6 hit points. Here's a Tornado formation, tries to get it in retreat path. Did not time it though, and it's completely wasted. 215 to 10. Avatar pulled out, but it's too late for it to do anything meaningful, I think. There's the Wailing Doom. Are they able to use that to get a decap? No, they don't have time. It's going to be a blue team's game. Max power gets some Terminators up right at the end there. And there it is. 2-1 and a victory for the blue team. I think they were in control for a while here. 7 minutes or so where they were never really under any threat. Especially once those Eldritch Storms failed to do anything meaningful. Killed a whole bunch of guardsmen, which was fun to see, but that was pretty much it. We saw some rocket runs. The rocket run here was really painful. You can still see all of those dead termagants. Let's look at the heroes. End of the game. Level 6 Lord Commissar. A level 6 Force Commander 2. Switch from the Storm Shield to the Hammer, of course. A level 6 Lord General. All level 6 on the blue team. Level 7 Farseer. Level 8 Warlock. And a level 6 Raven Alpha. I don't think this guy ever got the Corrosive Devourer, which would have been useful against the Marines and against that Land Raider, of course. But there you have it. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.